So we're seeing the confrontation between Raiden and Darkshine. This was set up in the previous chapter where Darkshine seemed almost maybe intimidated by Raiden. We're also getting some more exposition on Raiden here. So we found out that he's like the super sumo Yokozuna, like the world champion of sumo wrestling, essentially. But he fights in a league where guys have to be over 3 meters tall and over 400 kilograms to join. So that's like minimum 9'8" and then 880 pounds or something. We were talking about this in the previous review, like, is Raiden bigger than Boros? And yes, he definitely is. He's way bigger than Boros, actually, because Boros is surprisingly only 7'10.5". So he couldn't even join that sumo league if he wanted. Darkshine can't even join either. But in this league, Raiden went undefeated for like 700 matches, and allegedly his combat ability surpasses even S-class heroes. So what does that mean? Does that mean that he's like above Dragon? I don't think so. I think it's kind of hyperbole. Raiden is pretty strong and he is definitely S-class level, but there's no way he's surpassing it. And I say that because he straight up gets into a test of strength with Darkshine here. He kind of forces it on him, of course. And it looks like he's kind of imposing his will on Darkshine, maybe even overpowering him a little bit. But to be honest, I don't really think he is that much, because Darkshine surprisingly keeps his composure pretty well here. And I say surprisingly because in the webcomic, Darkshine was a little more submissive in this sequence. But in the manga continuity here, he's not looking so bad. I mean, yeah, he's not doing great because Raiden kind of feels bad for him. He looks at him and he's like, I didn't mean to scare you, bro. We could stop. He's like, maybe you're not in your best condition right now. Or perhaps I've surpassed the peak. It's definitely the former, Darkshine not being in his best condition because he has PTSD coming off of the Monster Association War. But I don't think this means that Raiden is stronger than Darkshine. But anyway, these two guys bust in here. Mars Leo and Coco, or Solitude. And they're what is described as Neo Leader candidates. Like, they were pretty strong, they were being considered to be Neo Leaders, but they didn't necessarily make the cut. So they're in this candidate level, which I guess is like high A-class equivalent. But these guys are just quite literally jobbers because they bust in here very recklessly, and their whole purpose is to just show how much stronger everyone else is compared to them. Because Coco like uses his bionic eye to analyze Wavy Gyaza, and he finds out that her body modification ratio is over 71%, which apparently is incredible. Like, cyborgification, which is this process is being called here, and this is going to become very prevalent throughout this arc, but over 60% is extremely dangerous, and success cases are rare, so she's 71%. Not really sure how much Coco is here, but obviously he's not 71 because he finds that extremely impressive. So we're finding out what happened to Wavy Gyaza. She underwent cyborgification. I mean, she probably had some other stuff done to her too. It's possible that she had some kind of Esper surgery done, because we found out that that's a thing now. But at least it's being confirmed here that part of the reason why she's so incredibly powerful is because she's 71% cyborg. And it also makes you think, like, what is Genesis percentage? Because he's pretty much just a brain at this point, I assume. I don't really think he has much humanity left to him other than that, so he's got to be in the 90s. But anyway, Mars Leo like starts crashing out for some reason, and he's like shadow boxing and then acts like he's accidentally punching Darkshine, but he does it on purpose because, I don't know, he's stupid. And he literally breaks his hand and wrist punching Darkshine. Like, his bone punctures through. It just showing you, like, yeah, this is how strong Darkshine is. He did just kind of get played a little bit by Raiden, but he still is a god amongst everyone else that is an S-class. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Hovsco, because I just picked up their Hov Alpha 26-inch electric fat tire bike, and this thing is absolutely incredible. It's probably my favorite possession. Just looking at it, it's incredibly aesthetic, but it also has a 1300 watt motor with a high capacity integrated battery that gives you a range of up to 80 miles per charge. It also has a max speed speed of 28 miles per hour, as well as a 450-pound payload capacity, along with an intuitive LCD digital panel, front suspension, hydraulic disc brakes, a Shimano 7-speed shifter, a headlight and a tail light, as well as a solid aluminum crankset. It also has this really cool thumb throttle that allows you to just cruise without having to pedal. Like I said, this thing is incredible. I feel so safe on the road with it, and it's so powerful. It easily blasts through hills and incline and goes through rough terrain and the forest like it's nothing. That's one of the main reasons why I wanted to get it, because it's kind of difficult to go through trails and unpaved roads with traditional bikes. I also don't own a car, considering that I live downtown in the city. I don't have to deal with like car insurance and parking and mechanics and any of that stuff. You just get around no problem with this bad boy. So guys, check the link in the description and make sure you use code BIGZ for $100 off. Thank you guys. And then Suiryu comes up and he's like, hey, you know, why don't you just stop, man? Don't you get it that you're outclassed? You should go home. And then Mars, Leo, and Coco obviously get upset at that and they start attacking Suiryu. And yeah, he like no diff parries them. So like I said, these two guys only exist to job, which is fine. You need that every now and then. So we've established that Wavy Gyaza, pretty powerful, 71% cyborg modified. Darkshine, still one of the strongest S-Class heroes. And Suiryu, pretty strong. He could just take these two A-Class implied level guys, no problem, and just no diff avoid them. So yeah, he's obviously S-Class level, as we already knew from the Super Fight tournament. But aside from that, this meeting is going to continue in the next chapter because there's still two more Neo leaders that we need to be introduced to. One of them we actually already saw as a silhouette. It's this person right here. They're going to be introduced to the next chapter for sure. And then we're going to get introduced to some new characters that we didn't even expect to be a thing. And they're really going to shake up the power scale. I'm really excited to see what they look like in the manga actually, because they're pretty important characters, to be honest. And then after that, like I said, there's one last Neo leader that we will be introduced to after the previous one, and that will probably be the cliffhanger. And I won't go into who it is, of course, but I'll just say it is the most hyped member of the Neo heroes. Might be introduced to this character in the next chapter or the chapter after that, but it's going to be a pretty big deal when they are revealed. And of course, we can't forget about what's going on with Blast, Flashy Flash Sonic, and Empty Void. Technically, they're still in the middle of their battle, maybe? I don't really know what the timelines are right now, but that still has to be resolved unless the story just kind of skips over it and we just get a verbal recount of what happened once we catch up with Flashy Flash, maybe? And then wherever Saitama is, kind of unknown at this point. So look forward to that. And if you liked the video, guys, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.